So, little video, fairwestwork, 822. Interesting moment from today. I went to the harm reduction because they had mentioned the need for wound care kind of cropping up a little bit. It had been a while since I had done any real focused attention on wound care efforts there. So I decided to go down this morning around, wanted to get there at 10, move slow in the morning, got there around 10:30, and parked my bike at my office, and then went over, checked, talked to a few people who I had seen from before, just getting in the conversation kind of mode, being a little bit, it's a little bit of a character that you got to put on, I think, persona that you got to embrace for a minute. It's tiring. Um, but achieve some interesting things. So, to cut through all of the backstory, I was down there talking to a woman on the sidewalk. I was picking up some needles. I have a little arm picker upper thing and um, a little canister. I like to have that with me to kind of like demonstrate as I'm walking around without having to wear a uniform or a vest or anything that like um, that's I'm there to like hang out and do something, kind of on a mission that rotates. If nobody wants to talk to me, I pick up needles. If somebody wants to talk to me, talk to them. If somebody needs some wound care, we do some wound care. I was talking to woman Heidi, who is currently staying at the West Side Shelter and trying to get things kind of situated, struggling, wants to reconnect with her daughter. I'm saying too much. Maybe. But anyway, we talked for a while, sitting there on the curb. And then the two police officers, or I noticed two cars driving the same way northbound on Madera. And I thought, that's weird. They were parallel to each other, taking up the whole street. And I thought, oh, that one car behind is being aggressive and is passing. But no, he's not passing. He's staying at the same speed. And so then the police, two police cruisers, pull up to a small group that was across the other side on the west side of Madera. Um, and it's not stuff I haven't kind of like seen or known about. It's just it makes an impression when you see it. Um, where like two police cars pull up and then the solid waste trucks move in, and they're just moving at normal speed, but they're moving in a direction like, oh, it's cleanup time. And then I remembered, oh, I think I saw a city vehicle. I forget what the badge says on it, but somebody comes out like an hour beforehand and passes out, I guess, citations or warnings or something. um, I haven't pieced together all the system. And then there's like how it's supposed to work on paper, and then how probably like for whatever reasons doesn't always go that way in practice. Um, but there were I think four police officers, and one turned their attention over to where Heidi and I were sitting and came to us and said, "You can't be here. Get out of here. You gotta go." Um, Not that exact language, but like I think that was the vibe. Um, there was no greeting. There's no like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" As far as I can remember. Anyway, it was brusque, but I thought that's what cops do. Um, Sometimes I don't know. I don't interact with them a lot outside of kind of like fake scenarios. Like if you're having coffee with cops in a McDonald's, um, the interaction is very different than if a cop tells you to stop on your bicycle, and you're not really sure why, and the whole interaction starts off a little on the edge of uncertainty, which is not the worst thing in the world. But it is interesting to like interact with the police. Heidi uh, said, I can't remember exactly what, basically like some insults back at the cop, and the cop was like, "Get out of here," basically. I tried to like stand up and show that I'm leaving. It kind of seems messed up. Like, why are you telling me to leave? I'm just sitting here. It's a public street, public sidewalk. Like, if you want me to stay back, I get it. I'm already back, but it's not well thought out or executed or whatever. Seemed like maybe somebody was like, "Oh, pretty short fuse." Heidi didn't help necessarily, and then there was a instigation back and forth with the cop, basically saying like, "You insult us? What do you think's gonna happen? Get moving." And then she would mutter something, and they would kind of say something back. It was unpleasant on both sides. Um, and I was just kind of standing there observing, and the cop again looked at me and said, like, "Move it." Um, I said, "No, I am. I'm just." Oh, he did ask at first, "What are we doing?" And I'm trying to think what other ways he talked to us. There were some questions. It's like, "What are you doing?" Um, when I said, I'm picking up needles," and she said, "I'm just hanging out and we're talking." That was like, "Okay, get out of here." Um, that's not it's not great. Um, I left, and I mean, the cops are gonna leave, and they were gone in uh, not that much time. So as long as I kind of like swing around the corner, but at one point when I'm switching around a little bit in the timelines, memory funny, memory is funny. So when I was trying to get Heidi to just move on, so that she wouldn't further complicate her situation by um, getting arrested, and I think because she's got some momentum going, it sounds like to me. She's at the West Side Shelter. She's taken the bus into State of the Heart. Uh, she's not really, wasn't really saying what her next big goals were, but like she had some foundational things that were um, demonstrating a certain amount of follow through on improving her situation and success on that. Um, I say that thinking like, oh, well, what could I offer? Like, if anything, maybe it's just wildly um, um, self-aggrandizing to think, or patronizing to think like, oh, well, they're just not doing it right. Um, but we're all not doing things right. So I come from that angle. Not that it's specific to this particular group, but I think mistakes, like on the mistakes. I see why HR departments are like put together. You know, let's just assume that that I'm talking in a respectful way. So if I have slip ups where I try and self correct myself, moderate, it's in, or if, more specifically, if I don't, um, it's just so that the video actually is not endless with self debate. So anyway, um, back to the Heidi story. I was trying to get her to just move on, and I said to her, "Hey, you have my phone number. Give me a call." And I think I could tell that the police officer was noticing that, like, I may, um, he, he just seemed to be, he was focusing his attention on Heidi and like not seeing me as the issue. And that's fine, I guess, or that makes sense. Um, but when he came back to me the last time and said like, "Hey, you gotta go," because he did keep looking back at me. Um, I think I said something along the lines of, "Yeah, I understand. I'm going. I'm the neighborhood association president, and I'm a nurse. I have my office here. I work here. I come out to this neighborhood. Uh, that's why I'm here." Um, he then kind of like he just basically left. Um, he stopped following me and just, I mean, I think at that point, yeah, he stopped following me. Like I was backing away, but after I said that, he kind of like stammered out, if I think something along the lines of, you know, we're supposed to like follow, treat them great, and this is the disrespect that we get. Um, so I think he was already knowing and feeling um, that he was not behaving well, and he left. Um, Interesting. I I don't know what exactly to make of that. It seemed like a positive interaction, a little bit hair raising for me, a softie, unseasoned. Um, but it's wild. So that's part of Fair West Work Day. Oh, seeing that and not really knowing what to say about that kind of makes me want to talk to more police officers. And I think by hanging out at harm reduction, uh, I will. Especially if they only allow 5 people in their lobby, the lobby becomes full, and it's kind of echoey. It makes sense for me to talk to people not so much in the lobby, but actually just out on the street there. I had struggled to figure out how to like talk to the people, but basically there are enough people, like at least at the moment, sitting in the shade, hanging out. Um, some tent and tarp situations, so I can bounce around, find find some people to talk to, find some things to do. I got some plants to water. Um, been asking if I was talking to Heidi today, saying if I had a trash can and I had a broom, and I told you I'd pay you $5 for a half hour of sweeping things up and putting it into this, and then we, basically like cleaning trash up off the street. Um, should do that. And so I might just start hiring out people to help me like clean. Because solid waste comes through and they throw out like the big stuff, but there's still a lot of just like trash around there. And you clean it up one day, it just comes right back. But at some point, if you keep cleaning it up and like you get to know a lot of the people who are willing to like, you get to know a lot about somebody if you work with them. And so that's a way of working together with the people out there on the street. Um, and I don't have that much money um, to pay like a market rate for helping. And to ask them just to volunteer is like, I don't know. So anyway, some of the, after the cops came in, I basically went into the harm reduction place, said, oh, I was out there talking to people on the street, but now the cops are out there, along with solid waste, so I think I'll come back another day and keep on doing it. Good to see you. Bye. And and then they went out and were checking out what was happening there. I wish one of the cops could come over and, I realize it's a difficult thing, but like, what should the conversation between police and harm reduction, like staff, look like? Um, because they interact a fair bit, um, and I don't think they see each other as um, trying to working in the same spirit. But like, yeah, I don't know. There might be something of value, not like there won't be. I don't expect some sort of sea change in interaction, but as a part of spreading the word, I bet we could find some police officers that think harm reduction has value, and that interacting with staff and like kind of like coordinating with them a little bit more, and like being um, like doesn't seem fair that police officers or solid waste are tasked with like being in a position to do outreach, but I mean they are. ACS will get more people online. Maybe I'll be one of them. Um, so this can be accomplished in a variety of ways. I'm just trying to think. Um, you know, Police departments do put money into training programs. I wonder if harm reduction had like um, strategy sessions for talking about what it's like to interact with someone when police just roll up to support a sweep. Maybe get somebody who's been through sweeps in the past and is like got a cool head and would be willing to come in and like have a conversation with those some police officers who come by, and like shouldn't turn into a yelling match. I think it should actually be like moderated as well to keep it in check, keep cool heads. Hard sell, but like not impossible. Hmm. Yeah, I keep thinking I would prefer not to take this full-time ACS job. Uh, Trying to talk myself out of another job. I'm still going to go through the interview, um, but I remain. I want to keep room available in my schedule to make sure that I can, or I want to have the work that allows me to focus quite a bit of effort within the neighborhood itself. Um, I don't want to be so myopic as to think I can only work in the neighborhood. So the ACS job would require me to certainly branch out a lot more. But they talk about so many things: interacting with providers, interacting with clients. Um, you know, I don't know how to ask this in the interview, but I guess I will. Where can am I, I just go out there and scout my own clients? Or am I going to get like referrals or like recommendations on places to go? Because I don't think I need any recommendations, but I have a highly biased opinion of where I want to work. I want to work like literally in my neighborhood. Um, to what degree can I accomplish that with this job? Because I don't want to like do something. I don't want to. Anyway, struggling with whether I should say something to that effect or just make my best like presentation of what I think will get me the job opportunity, and then just take the job, see if I can do it my way, and don't ask for the permission. Just wait to get fired. Hopefully not. Hopefully they'll be like, this is great. We gotta hire more people to do this sort of thing. And then they'll have their budgetary um, I don't know, fights to figure out how to get these positions in 3 years or whatever. Um, being pessimistic. Maybe I won't have to change anything. Just take the job, do the job in the best way that makes sense. If people have issues with that, they'll bring it up to me. If it's a big enough issue, hopefully. Yeah, that's my long-winded way of saying I do hope I get this ACS job. So I'll try and present myself well and make sure that put some energy into not making making an impact by being a little bit strange, but not accentuating the strangeness that I think I might be. You know, this is a first date. I guess I've never dated that way, so I probably won't interview that way. So we'll see what happens. Um, what else did I do today? Hanging out with Mateo, walking around, trying to do some check-ins on some neighbors I haven't seen for a while. Walk parts of the neighborhood, see what's going on. Helped a guy put together a move around a refrigerator and kind of like do some handyman work just by walking around the neighborhood and randomly showing up. So funny work. It was like 2 hours. All right, I'm probably out of good things to say. End of the workday.